one.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Split Decision. This is your co-host Aki. To my left
Is Professor Nims. What's good, people?
a real lifetime professor, and he's a professor when it comes to the sport of boxing. So if you need some education and some medication because your feelings is hurt from watching the sport of boxing, this is the show to tune in. Now, Professor Nin,
What's going on, Aki?
you know what's going on this weekend. We got Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter.
Yeah.
So what's your prediction on that one? How you think the fight is going to play out? And who has the upper hand? Because Errol Spence is the favorite for this fight. So who you got your money on?
Okay, so I can kind of talk about the fight in general purposes, but how about since we're split decision, you give me your take and your thoughts on it. You take a stance, and then I'll come to see if I can come through that. So give me your thoughts.
Well,
Take a stance on Spence versus Porter.
Well, my take on the fight, I believe Errol Spence has the upper hand. I believe Errol Spence is a completed fighter. He could fight in the inside, outside, mid-range. So whatever Shawn Porter decides to do, I believe Errol Spence will nullify. But at the end of the day, Shawn Porter, every fight he's been in, especially the big fights, the big moments, he's always been in competitive fights. So I'm looking forward to see if Errol Spence is able to dominate Shawn Porter and if he's able to knock out Shawn Porter. Now, if you ask me my opinion, I think the first couple rounds is going to be very competitive. They're going to be filling each other out. But after the fourth or the fifth round, I believe Errol Spence is going to start to take over, and he's going to start landing big punches. And, yes, Shawn Porter, obviously he got this Marlon style. You know, he uses his body. He's very aggressive and he's very dirty with his tactics. But just like, remember when he fought Kell Brook nullified a lot of that just by holding. When Errol Spence fought Kell Brook tried to hold Errol Spence, but Errol Spence was able and managed to create enough distance to land his body shots. So I believe even though Shawn Porter is going to try to smother Errol Spence's offense by, being too aggressive, I believe Errol Spence will create the right distance and still land the body shots and effective punches throughout the fight, so he won't be gassing himself out. And, we know Errol Spence is the body snatcher. So that being said, I got Errol Spence all day. He's the truth for a reason. So, that I put my house on it. I'm confident like that when it comes to Errol Spence. But Shawn Porter, he's a real dog in there. I'm not going to take credit away from Shawn Porter, but I just believe that it's Errol Spence's time and his time to shine. So what's your take on it?
All right. So I think the original kind of question out there was, who do you think has the upper hand when we go into the bout? And then I think there's a couple ways you can look at it. So a lot of people are going to look at Errol Spence and his recent track record. He's undefeated. He's a former Olympian. He has the pedigree. But I think there's part of it they're underestimating Shawn Porter in a sense. One is I think that unquestionably that Shawn Porter has faced the better competition. And this is not all Errol's fault. A lot of people just do not want to fight Errol Spence. It's some guys who have fought Shawn Porter who would not dare go into the ring with Errol Spence. Yeah. Danny Garcia, Adrian Broner, even a Keith Thurman. Right, so we can say that, but at the same time, he's fought those guys. And Shawn Porter is in the enviable position of, because of everything that Errol Spence has talked about, he's going to knock him out, and he stated this unequivocally, I'm going to knock this guy out. So he gets a modicum of a victory just by lasting the round. So if you kind of think about it, what I'm saying is that I think that there are a lot of good things that you cannot take from him. And I think that the pressure is going to be more on Errol Spence, not only to win and to perform at a high level, but by his own words, is to stop Shawn Porter, who's never been stopped. He's only been dropped one time, a left hook by Broner in the 12th round, kind of a lapse. He has been hurt before. I guess shocked. Yeah, Keith Thurman. I think even Danny Garcia landed some tough punches. And he's shown that he can take a very good punch on the chin. Errol Spence offers a new challenge because of his body work. I haven't really seen anybody really attack Sean's body with the kind of fervor that we would see from Errol Spence.
Now I got a better question for you. If Errol Spence dominates Shawn Porter, you stated nobody dominated Shawn Porter and nor knocked him out, right? You know, if they do beat him, it's a tough, close fight. Like the Kell Brook, he held like 100 times. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, Kell Brook got the victory, but he did held, and the referee didn't do nothing about it. But as a fighter, you're supposed to make adjustments, just like Errol Spence did. But my question is, if Errol Spence go in the ring and dominate Shawn Porter, just like he did to Mikey Garcia, and like just beat him up, but he doesn't stop him, will that be impressive? Is that equivalent to a knockout in your opinion? If he dominates Shawn Porter like no one has, because like I stated, Keith Thurman, it was a war against Shawn Porter, and also Danny Garcia. It was a very close fight, you know, and Ugas too. Let's not forget Ugas actually. I thought that was a very close fight, and I could have seen that, you know, Ugas actually edged it. A lot of people feel that way. So if Errol Spence go in the ring and dominates Shawn Porter, but it doesn't stop him, does that take any shine away from his victory?
Well, I don't necessarily kind of buy into this kind of mythical, you know, you have to do this. In boxing, I just think that you have to win. If you win impressive, that's good. If you get a knockout, that's a strong testament, particularly if there's a fighter who's never been knocked out. But I don't think dominating somebody over 12 rounds equates to a knockout. A knockout is different. That is where your opponent is not able to continue because of the harm that you have inflicted upon them. So Mikey Garcia fought Errol Spence, and it would have made he made a resounding statement by dominating him over those 12 rounds, but he didn't stop him, and I think that's something that it's kind of this seismic shift that you kind of feel, just like, wow, did you see Errol Spence, like he stopped Mikey Garcia?
And that's why probably Shawn Porter took the fight, because he felt that, okay, Mikey went 12 rounds with him. You know, because Shawn Porter wasn't interested in this fight beforehand. Let's be honest here. But that being said, Errol Spence, before the Mikey Garcia fight, he was capable of stopping a lot of his opponents that a lot of people weren't capable of stopping. You know, like Algieri went 12 rounds with Pacquiao. Even though he got dropped like 6 times, he managed to get up every time. Errol Spence just watched him. Meanwhile, you have Kell Brook, who beat Shawn Porter. You know, it was a good victory for Kell Brook, impressive victory, matter of fact. Mm-hmm. And Errol Spence went to his hometown and literally destroyed the man in his own hometown. So
he stopped him. He was actually down when he stopped Kell Brook, though.
No. Errol Spence was winning the fight.
You think so?
The commentators was just biased as hell, because the first 4 rounds had it 2 for 2. 2 Errol Spence, 2 Kell Brook. But after that, Errol Spence kind of took over. But they wasn't looking at what Errol Spence was doing. Like, I remember a sequence in the 5th round where Errol Spence slipped in the corner, and they were like, you know, Kell Brook hurt Errol Spence in danger, and then Errol Spence turned him around, started punishing him to the body, to the head. He literally landed like 6 to 7 punches, and they didn't say nothing about that. You know, I'm like, really? So the commentators was kind of biased, stating that, you know, Kell Brook is winning the fight, but obviously that's a hometown advantage. Sky Sport was stating that, but in my opinion, Errol Spence was up on the scorecard up to that point. But regardless of that, he attacked the body, he attacked the head. His jab was consistent all night, which broke Kell Brook down. And I believe his jab and his consistency will give Shawn Porter a lot of problems. See, Shawn Porter, I remember when he fought Keith Thurman, you know, he will do good in the inside, but he did well on the outside as well. Boxing with Keith Thurman, he was using the jab very effectively. He out jabbed Paulie early on when they fought, before he just mauled him and knocked him out. So my point is, Shawn Porter has a good jab, but his opponents let him work because of his wild style. So when he actually boxed him, they're like, man, I'd rather box with him than you know, brawl with him. But I believe Errol Spence will control the pace, and with his consistent jab and the way he varies his offense, like he did with Mikey Garcia, you just don't know what to expect next. You don't know how to prepare for what's coming. I mean, he already 5 steps ahead of you offensively, and he's good defensively. That's why I believe he will have the edge in the Shawn Porter fight. So what round you picking? I mean, you picking Errol Spence? Is that what I'm getting?
I am. I'm picking Errol Spence. I don't foresee an early round stoppage. At the most, maybe a late round stoppage. I think that Errol Spence will probably have to deal with a cut over his eye just through the physical nature and the fact that southpaw versus orthodox, their feet are going to be very close together. Both of them are boxers that they like to fight on the front foot, and so I could see him dealing with some kind of hairy moments, but I think his class will take over. And 11th round,
11th round,
TKO.
Same for Kilbrook. Now let me inform you on this. It's funny you say that. They had the face-to-face. I don't know if you've seen it, but Shawn Porter told Errol Spence, "I'm gonna cut you." Now I don't know. I mean, obviously people try to say what he meant. He's gonna cut him by a punch, but how many fighters you know that got cut by the punch? I mean, obviously Tyson Fury got cut his last fight against Wallen with a punch, but when you say I'm gonna cut you, normally, especially if you got the reputation of being a dirty fighter, it's kind of not a good look. You know, when you say that, especially when the referee hears that. I mean, let's say the referee that's refereeing the fight watch that face to face. Automatically, as soon as there's a headbutt, he might think it's intentional. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I think it's a fight. I don't. It's like this is a good look. It's just I think he's saying it's gonna be physical. It's gonna be dog. You're gonna have to deal with some stuff. And regarding boxing use tactics, but we also have to remember like there are still 2 guys fighting in there, and so some people complain about like holding and like other things to do. I just think that if the referee does not penalize you, or if you work within however that referee wants to govern that bout, then that's just using your tactics. People who try to call Bernard Hopkins a dirty fighter. Bernard Hopkins is just a genius at fighting. Yeah. He will like if you slip and he'll like and anything that he can get away with is legal because it's not illegal until you get caught doing it.
Yeah,
in that sense.
Hitting you low while the referee is on the
it's
other
a
side.
Fight.
Same
It's a
thing
fight.
that Salido did against NO-Machenko. People
it's
say,
a fight.
Oh,
that's
a fight.
Like those are veteran moves. If you do that, like nobody's gonna. I still look at Salido as a guy who beat NO-Machenko. He did a lot of questionable tactics to do that, but
he took him to the Mexican school though. Mexican school. Now, the fact that you stated obviously,
because that's make sure that because that's our audience too. Because remember we got to like make eye contact with them and stuff.
I got you, but so the fact that Errol Spence. I believe his body positioning in the inside, the way he fights, it's just that he knows where to position his body, where he could hit his opponent and not be hit. So I believe the inside fighting, Errol Spence will be ahead of that. Even dirty tactics, he already stated, if Shawn Porter does anything dirty, I will return the favor. So that being said. We'll see fight night. That's next Saturday night, so we will sure tune in and buy the pay-per-view fight on Fox Sport. Now the next question is. Yeah, you gonna buy the pay-per-view? I'm gonna watch it with you. Canelo Alvarez